Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. It's my favorite topic to talk about, and that's eyeshadow palettes. Today we're going to talk about my favorite spring eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection. So if you're ready, let's begin. Okay, let's start off with a very recent palette in this year that landed in my collection, and that is from Ladybug Glow. This palette I feel like is super apt for spring season, especially with these like pastel shades, colorful shades, and these beautiful multi-chromes that shift to a green. It totally captures like spring in a palette, and I absolutely love it. Like the quality is A++ in this palette, and I feel like this black is so necessary in this palette, especially to deepen out any look, and this black is a superb quality. Like all these shadows are wonderful quality. I've actually done several looks using this palette on my channel, so if you'll give it a search, you'll definitely find it, and this is definitely my top recommendation. Okay, now let's talk about Sugar Drizzle. I feel like I have a lot of palette from Sugar Drizzle that can qualify for like spring eyeshadow palettes, and I have to mention four. Like these four eyeshadow palettes, all from the same brand, so I'm going to quickly run over it. The first one is my favorite, and that's the MILF palette. Man, I love frogs. I feel like whenever I think of spring, I feel, you know, grassy greens and purples and soft pinks, and that's what everything is. Like this is so stunning, and they have some beautiful shifty tones. Like look at that, I didn't want to swatch everything, but you need to see. Like it is so gorgeous, so pretty on the eyes, and the dimension is to another level. I've mentioned quite a few times on this channel that I'm a big multi-chrome lover, and if you ask me, and I have tried a lot of single shadows as well as multi-chrome palettes, I feel multi-chrome palettes are more feasible. Just because the single shadows are super expensive. I feel like if you buy like 2 or 3 single shadows, you can get a palette worth the same price. And this so I would recommend a palette. This is the second palette that I have to talk about. This is Hypernova palette, and this has some neutral with spring tone colors in it. So if you want to dip into like neutral tones for everydays, or if you want to go colorful and pastel-y and like spring vibes, you do have this beautiful green, this pinky purple shade. These are like beautiful tones. This is a beautiful multi-chrome, and these shimmers are very smooth. Let me swatch a few so that you can see the effect of shimmers as well as mattes. Can you see that? It's really pretty. Like these tones are very nice. And last time when I checked the site, all of this was available, and I have a code with Sugar Drizzle as well as Ladybug Glow, and the code is Smithy Sony, and you can just apply it in any of them and you will get a discount. I'm not talking because I do have a coupon code or affiliate code with them, but these palettes quality is really amazing. This is the third palette that I have to talk about. This is the newest edition. This is called the Trashed palette. This is, as I say, it's a colorful palette for neutral wearers. It's a very muted down colorful color story, and this is amazing, especially for spring season. Can you even imagine, like you have your neutrals, you have your pinky tones, you have your greens but muted at the same time, and you have your purples, pinks, oranges. It's beautiful. Love the quality, the dimension and the shifts and the sparkle. When you use this palette, you will understand like what I say, because this quality is absolutely stunning. Let me swatch a few shades and you'll see there's various like texture and quality, various amount of textures in this palette, and you can see like this is a little more flaky, but it's not rough by any means. It smoothens out on the skin. And then you have like smooth multi-chromes too. Let me just swatch a few so that you see like it's not gritty by any means. It's just the shift in the dimension that it creates is like stunning. Oh my god. I have like 5 looks using this palette already on my channel, so you can see that, and look at the shift. It's so gorgeous. Beautiful quality. Whenever I start using this palette, it's very difficult for me to stop using this because the quality is so amazing. And then last palette that I have to talk about, if you are not into like shimmers, because I spoke a lot about like all shimmer palettes, if you're into mattes and if you want like one purple palette in your collection that's full of mattes and beautiful quality, I would definitely highly recommend the mattes palette from Sugar Drizzle. If you are into purples, this is amazing. You can find like every tone of purple that you would ever need in your life, but they also have a few teals thrown here and there and a little bit of pinks. It's beautiful and the depth is really amazing. This might seem like very redundant with the same like mid-tone shades, but believe me, if you see my like reveal video on this palette, and I've created like 5 looks I think using this palette. It's stunning. You can see the variations of depth in this purple palette. It's beautiful. If you like the Blend Bunny Cosmetics palette, the mattes are very similar to that one. It's definitely one of my favorite palettes, especially in the matte realm. It's really beautiful. I really want Sugar Drizzle to come out with like more matte palettes, but maybe with a little bit more concise color story, maybe like 12 pan, that would be really good. Okay, now let's talk about one of my big palettes that I enjoy wearing, and that is the Michaela palette from Glamlight. Now this is a spring in a palette. Like, this makes me so happy when I open this palette, when I put this baby on my eyes. It's so pretty, so colorful, so pastel-y but colorful, but muted, but dimensional at the same time. Love this palette. The mattes are beautiful. The shimmers are even more amazing. Like, there are some beautiful, gorgeous shimmers that you need to see. I completely skipped a finger. These are some beautiful mattes, beautiful shimmers with amazing quality. You will definitely not be disappointed. If you are going in like Glamlight's website, wait for like a sale or something and then grab this palette, because you will not be disappointed with this palette at all. And this is so colorful but so wearable at the same time. It's beautiful. I love this palette. I definitely need to dip into that Glamlight palette once again, just for like get ready with me or something, because off the camera I do use it quite a bit. Now let's move on to the next palette. The next palette that I have to mention is Yallternative palettes from Wicked Widow Beauty. Now my palette has like a lot of pressed glitters. Now if you're not into pressed glitters, they also have another palette with the same color story with regular shimmers. I would highly recommend to dive into that. But these mattes are very pastel-y, very fresh looking, very light but like buildable in the same way, and the packaging is absolutely stunning. Like, if you are into like a collector person and if you love the artwork, you need to appreciate this palette. It's so very pretty. Again, I do have a code with Wicked Widow Beauty. You can use the code Smithy Sony to save some dollars off. Okay, now let's talk about another brand which I absolutely love, and that is Gourmande Girls. And this ethereal palette is so pretty. Again, this is an all shimmer palette with full of duochromes, multichromes, and some sparkly shifty shades. Again, if you are into colorful shades and if you want to dip into like one palette, this is such a beautiful, amazing palette, I would say. It's stunning. Let me swatch a few shades for you and you'll know the quality is outstanding. Like, look at that. Look at the dimension. Oh my God, stop right now. These are like one swipe swatches and you can see how beautiful it is. Look at that. Look how beautifully it shifts. Oh my God. This one is my favorite. Oh, and this, oh, okay. I love all the shades in this palette. I absolutely love it. Now, talking about all shimmer palettes, we should definitely talk about all matte palettes, and all matte rainbow palette would be even more amazing to even think about. And if it is affordable, then what is not to like about it? And I'm talking about the Fruity Realm palette from It's Belle Cosmetics. If you are into colors, if you want to have some fun in your makeup, this palette is full of that. It's full of neons. It's so vibrant, so colorful. If you want like a punch of color on your eye, this is the way to go. I have enjoyed every time playing with this palette. This goes like super deep. These two are very deep. You can layer one on top of the other and that would make it like even more like deep and dark. And these shades are super vibrant on the eyes. I would highly recommend this palette. This palette is for like $18 or something. On top of that, you can use the code SmithySony to save some dollars off. I don't want to promote my code all the time, but you can check in the description box below. I'll list everything there. But this palette is truly, truly amazing. Now, if you don't want like neons, I have another palette from It's Well Cosmetics, which is absolutely stunning. And this is the Cool Summer palette. And I know it's written summer in the palette, but I feel like the color story is so very spring, at least to me. I don't know how you feel about it. I love to wear those like minty tones, pinky tones, purpley tones, those beautiful blues and pinks and corals in springtime. I love the shimmer that are included in this palette because they are some gorgeous shades. And the mattes are very light, buildable, but the shimmers are my favorite from It's Well. It's not a news to anybody who've been like following me that how much I love It's Well Cosmetics formulas, especially their shimmer formulas. I love them, and I feel like the mattes in this palette is definitely like 10 times up a notch. So I would highly recommend It's Well palettes. Okay, next is a Colourpop palette that I would recommend. I don't love the color story, but the quality is absolutely amazing. So if you're looking for like one spring palette that would have like lighter tones, I just don't like this color story just because I feel like there is not enough depth in this palette. And I'm talking about Ticket to Dreamland palette from Colourpop. And there's nothing absolutely wrong with this palette. I feel like this is very spring appropriate. I would have appreciated if this last row was whole like a matte row rather than like matte with like sparkle in it. I just don't like glitter in my matte shadows, but otherwise this palette is absolutely stunning. I would have changed this glitter eyeshadow to like a normal shimmer eyeshadow because I love the shimmers, and this is like a duochrome shade. It's really pretty. The quality is outstanding, but will it be like my first pick? Not really. So that's the only reason why I'm ranking it a little low. But if you are in this color story, I think you'll absolutely love it. Okay, now the next palette is Discontinued, but I have to mention this because this is one among my favorite spring palettes in my collection, and this is from Huda Beauty, and this is their Mercury Retrograde palette. You know how much I love it, and I love wearing this. I've recently done like a get ready with me using this palette, and I love it. I think I use this in like my Valentine's Day look, and I just keep dipping into this palette. I love the mattes, I love the shimmers, how vibrant and dimensional and muted and elegant it is at the same time. I love this color story. Cannot recommend this enough, and this is stunning, absolutely stunning palette. It's a very big shame that this is discontinued. Like, if you can grab this anywhere, I would just grab it, like, because the quality is outstanding. And last, certainly not the least, if I have to mention like one colorful spring palette, this is another palette that is discontinued, but I cannot not mention this. And this is from Odens Eye, and this is the Hummingbird palette. This was in collaboration with Tina, the Fancy Face. As soon as I wear this palette in my eyes, I feel like so ready for spring. Like, look at those shades. That multichrome is my favorite multichrome that I have. So pretty, so pretty. This vibrant pinky red shade is stunning. I love the inclusions of blue here. This is like my favorite shade in the palette, and I am not a big fan of greens if you know me, but this in collaboration with the deep shades in the palette, it's so pretty. Love this color story and this palette. I feel like Tina did an amazing job in creating this palette and collaborating with Odens Eye. I feel like it's absolutely stunning. So those were my picks for spring palettes for this year. If you did like it, do let me know in the comment section below what is your favorite spring palette in your collection. And if you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.